Disclaimer, this video is a critique to people who specifically go out and protest against quarantine. You have probably heard of SARS-CoV-2 or coronavirus, as we commonly name it, unless you have been living under a rock for the last 5 months. And if you know it, you know what it has caused. Destruction, death, anarchy, massive stupidity, quarantine, loneliness, an insane desire to become productive, fake news, etc, etc. All those things are tightly woven together, maybe in a cause-consequence way, or maybe in another. But let's just focus ourselves on one of the mentioned aspects, stupidity. Let's see what went terribly wrong in the freaking pandemic. December 2019, some people go to a Chinese hospital in Wuhan with symptoms of pneumonia shortly after cases were reported in Thailand, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Japan, South Korea, the United States, Canada, France, Germany, the UK, Sweden, and other territories. Later on, we get the explosion of cases in South Korea, then in Iran, Italy, and Spain, the last two ones being the most affected countries at the time. However, the US seemed to take this stuff to Olympic levels and decided it had to be the first. The United States became the country with most cases towards the end of March 2020. So, let's put special attention to the most affected country by COVID-19, the USA. I won't argue much about how the country got to the point of infection, cause, well, come on, that is basically useless now. The virus is already in the United States, and it will continue to spread whether you like it or not. So let's move on to the stuff I showed you at the beginning. Madame and Monsieur, this is an Avengers level threat. Let's go little by little analyzing why all these people may lead to a disaster in their country. A virus is never something you can take as a simple thing. Even H1N1, which didn't arose to the point of SARS-CoV-2, had some impact in the world population, which will indeed lead to a certain degree of economic imbalance in the best case, if not, a loss of large quantity of money due to a decay in productivity. But here's where things may be misunderstood.
So if we will have an economic loss, it must be because people don't get out to work. All this crap is happening thanks to isolation and the government forcing me to stay home. This is
Take a deep breath first. Here's the deal. When a pandemic outbreak such as the one that we have right now, people get sick. And the spread of the disease may vary, and according to recent investigation, and really to common sense, we really can conclude that SARS-CoV-2 may be more contagious and lethal than a normal flu. Now, you may think that the risk may have to be taken, as people always get sick. People are dying all days, it's just reality. And even more, if we don't go out and work, the economy will fall. Oh my god. First of all, are you okay? Because for me it seems like basic human thinking to put lives over capital. Second of all, that isn't how this seems to go. Deaths are pretty close to 500,000, with even young people dying already. Of course, not at the same rate as older people, and the worst thing is that numbers may be pretty far from the truth now in China. So, going out to work may be actually worse, because you have to get out of your house and inevitably have contact with people. And this works kind of like the sex example that the conservative teacher gave to us when she tried to give us sex education, and she tried to dissuade us from having sex. You don't know with whom that person has had sex. Maybe one of those persons has a STD and now you will have one. Oh my god, you don't know if you... Which, yeah, is kind of exaggerated when it comes to STDs. Diseases that we know a lot about and have lots of years of studies behind. But with a highly contagious virus that is basically new and has just a few months of research, it's different. You will get the virus and probably feel very, very, very bad. You will have to stop working and, well, I guess you can just pretend you don't feel anything off. Just keep this masochist lifestyle and stand fever, tiredness, coughs, pains, and aches, and even maybe affections to other organs than the ones that conform our respiratory system. Okay, now I am getting into quite dangerous territory. Politics have always changed, and they will still change. Why do I bring this up? Because I want to discuss libertarianism. And fuck, this was complicated, so please appreciate it. We can all agree that the primary ideology of the United States of America is American libertarianism, or civil libertarianism, a core idea of the American culture, and now even this is at risk. You know the one, the idea of having rights and individual liberties represented by the famous snake. So, my argument here will be one of the core principles of libertarianism. Where do my rights end? Where yours begin? Otherwise, and originally written as, the right to swing my fist ends where the other man's nose begins. So, what does this mean? Well, as you see, it's a clear reference to respect the freaking space, safety, and well-being of others. 'Cause, sweetie, the others also have liberties. The world doesn't revolve around you. And you are directly affecting others' liberties to life and free circulation if you keep going out. Quarantine tries to solve the problem by making people stay home and stop the spread of the disease, so everyone can have their usual liberties back as soon as possible. And you, by getting out, are just making the disease spread quicker and affecting more and more people. By consequence, everyone will have to stay home longer and guess what? Lose their liberties, and even maybe jobs, familiars, and their lives, and taking away one of those basic ideologies over which the United States is already founded. I guess you could argue that the Nordic countries didn't force people to stay inside, and yeah, that is true. And actually that turned out pretty well. But now, here is the difference. I can take the easy answer and say that the culture is different and they are usually people who care about others, blah 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 blah. Which, yeah, Nordic culture is like that. But I want to kill this from the roots. So, you are protesting because you want to get out, right? I already said that that is not very liberal, but also, you see how that wouldn't have worked in the US? You're already crying to get out, and you don't care that the US is already in the epicenter of cases. It was Latin America surpassed it. Oh yeah, by the way, it doesn't seem very libertarian to use freaking unmeasured violence to protest or show your ideas. You are not defending your liberty that way. You are just being a dick. These people who are getting out and yelling because they are whining babies about confinement are dangerous for the United States and wherever this new phenomenon may arise. They are leading the productivity of many people to decayment. They are putting at risk the economy of the country. They are destroying the same ideologies over which their countries are founded. In conclusion, quédate en tu puta casa, quédate en tu puta casa, quédate, ¿quieres en tu casa? Stay home.